The new Netflix action horror Ziam isn't something that's anywhere close to the remake of Anna and the King of Siam. It's got hungry flesh eaters and plenty of gore. But is it entertaining? In a world gripped by food shortages, a tenacious Muay-Thai boxer battles a zombie outbreak inside a hospital to save his girlfriend from the jaws of death. So within this Thai film, we're taken to a dystopian future ravaged by catastrophic climate change, resulting in massive famines and droughts. Now, Thailand, though, has managed to work together as a society so that all sense of hope and order just haven't fallen apart. Food's still scarce, but they also have functioning hospitals and other services, so it's not complete chaos. Now, we meet Singh, who used to be a professional boxer, but now works within the gray-ish areas of morality just by smuggling food that has been sold or provided to the wealthy. Now, after somebody eats some questionable fish, or seafood at least, they start to get a craving for something other than what we would call normal food. And they begin chomping on friends and those around them, spreading this unknown parasite or viral nastiness that turns people into mindless biters. The zombie outbreak doesn't happen in the outside, where people are just out and about. The story starts by placing the characters within a central, secure location that allows for maximum contamination before spilling out into the general population. So what we get is a hospital full of doctors, nurses, staff, and of course patients, and then they're all families, just hanging out, unknowingly getting ready to have the fight of their lives. Let's be honest, not many of these are going to be anywhere near prepared or equipped to fight off the hordes, or really even singular threats, because those are just intent on gnawing them down. So we've got a simple premise with a contained location, and then we're given a couple of somewhat sympathetic characters to be concerned with. And then it's a battle for survival. The mechanics of the story, they're not anything that we have not seen before. The zombies, they're similar to the infected in World War Z or 28 Days Later. And I know that I said infected because I know 28 Days Later is not zombies, whatever. Where they are incredibly fast and they're equally vicious. Now, they don't go after brains, but instead look to be either attempting to spread the virus or just simply feed. And that part, it's not examined. The story is more focused on Singh's attempt to rescue his doctor girlfriend who is trapped inside with all of the biters. And because just about everything in this is familiar from a storytelling standpoint, you might be thinking, why in the world should I even spend time on this? Well, the why is thanks to some awesome fight choreography and action sequences. And because it's established through a couple of quick lines of dialogue that Singh used to be a professional fighter, we know he has some skills at taking on anybody attempting to attack him. And this translates into a dude beating the crap out of the zombies with his fists, forearms, elbows, feet, and shins, plus then any improvised weapons he comes across in the process. Now the action, it is fluid and it's exciting, creating scenes where we can feel the force and the momentum of the blows. And it's not like Singh just takes out a zombie with a single punch or a kick. Most of the time, it's a huge series of blows before he's able to remove the head or destroy the brain. The filming is a mix of quick cuts and longer takes that allow us to see the fighting maneuvers. Now, I wish we'd get less of the jumpy edits and more of the fluid takes, but we still get enough that makes it believable and convincing at Singh's ability. But to just watch a dude fight off zombies, while it can be exciting, it can also get old rather quickly. So we're given his girlfriend, and then a boy who is the son of the girlfriend's friend. Follow that? Well, they're the more vulnerable characters in the story. We're meant to root for them. I like that they're both resourceful and not just complete liabilities that make Singh's entire journey in vain. The boy, he adds some slight levity, not anything that made me laugh, just he had these lines or he gave looks that broke small bits of tension when it was needed. It also made him way more endearing as he assists Singh through observations. Now, the girlfriend does have brief moments of melodrama, especially within her reactions. But for the majority of the time we see her, she's crafty and clever, using her brain to survive rather than just creating ridiculous scenarios that become insanely far-fetched. And even though the zombies are the villains here, we also need something a bit more devious to add to the plot, so there can be another layer of tension. Well, thankfully, the story doesn't spend an exorbitant amount of time on the military or the politicians who are struggling to decide how to handle this outbreak. They add a needed level of presence to just introduce a MacGuffin that then creates an urgency to Singh's attempts, even though he doesn't know anything about it. This progression is predictable and obvious, but it doesn't take on such a focus that it eclipses the survival mode chase that Singh is on. The military, police, and politicians, they all serve their purpose and then back out of the way again so that we can enjoy more bitey carnage. Now, I was impressed by a lot of the practical effects that were used. The makeup and the creature design, it was nasty and gory. And sometimes the blood splatter was a little too CGI-y for me. But the zombified people, they were the focal point, so any wonkiness in the violence area was minimized. That being said, though, the ending sequence, it is very green screen looking and artificial. It's also drawn out in a way that doesn't make too much sense. There's a possibility of escape, but the speed of retreat and the urgency of the dialogue just don't match up, creating this confusing visual and even rational conundrum for us. I mean, for instance, if you were running from zombies who are strapped with some kind of explosive device and a van appeared offering to give you a lift, just go with this, okay? While they may hesitate for a minute while you pleaded with them to stay just as your partner is making their way to the vehicle, once a decision is made to speed away, there should be a decent distance between the van and the exploding zombie. That type of logic, it just doesn't really see its way into the finale of the movie. I mean, does it ruin the entire experience? No, but it isn't as strong of a finish as the majority of the film sets up to provide. So overall, while Ziam may be unoriginal in plot progression with familiar storytelling, the fight choreography, practical effects, and gory results make this an exciting action horror. Despite not having depth in character development or world building, the simplicity of the narrative allows more time for fluid battles filled with bloody carnage. This isn't creating anything new within the zombie or horror landscape, but it still packs a punch once the brawl begins. There's no sex or nudity, a little profanity, and then an absolute ton of gruesome violence. I give Ziam 3.5 out of 5 couches. And this is a fun 95-minute escape. I hope you enjoy it. If you were forced to watch only one undead-themed movie for a month straight, what would it be? I'm talking on loop 24/7. Now for me, I think I'd go with Return of the Living Dead if I want silly, Warm Bodies if I want quietly cute, and then, of course, Train to Busan if I want to be emotionally wrecked. What are you choosing? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.